Good morning. Oh, I wish I could smile more, but the topic for today has troubled me since it came to me yesterday or last evening, whenever it was. The title is No, I Did Not Sell Out. In a thread on a group to which someone added me, here we go, which I quit last night, someone posted a video by Shieena Living Waters with the comment, "There's your answer, Ron." Someone else asked, "Did you sell out too, Ron?" Sometimes I think I'm a bit too thin-skinned for this. Even though we are not supposed to take things personally, it's hard for me not to at times. When people question my integrity, it hurts. I would never sell out. My involvement in SwissIndo has never been about money or titles, as I've said before. It's about truth and justice, peace and prosperity for everyone. If these are not part of the package being offered by SwissIndo, I don't want anything to do with it. Yet that's not what Mr. Sugih and the delegation have in mind, despite the misunderstanding and false accusations of some. And if the release of funds 1 through 11 comes with immunity for the elite criminals without their repentance, or with secret patents being kept secret as some are claiming, I will feel betrayed. Neither of these have been part of any agreement to which I am privy. Indeed, it bothered me a great deal as I watched that thread develop through the day yesterday, questioning SwissIndo. And Shieena Living Waters has been probably one of my subscribers for a long time, going back probably at least till 2011, from the first year that I began. And she's bought into Pieta Morgan's interpretation of SwissIndo, which to me is a total distortion. It's not understanding the idea of a bridge. It's interpreting things that are in the SwissIndo documents with a not a complete understanding of how the bridge has to be built. It has to be built from where we are. Just as the OPPT filings by Heather were built from within the system itself, even so, SwissIndo has to start from within the system itself, because you can't just simply jump to something new. I know a lot of you want to do that. I know there's an awful lot of visionaries that they're so fed up with the old paradigm and the old world order, which labels itself the New World Order, which is a false label. They want to get to the idealized situation without understanding that there's a process. We have to lay claim and own and take responsibility for the world that we are already in, that we have contributed toward the creation of. Even if we think we haven't contributed, you contribute either by action or by passivity. Your passivity is as much to blame as the activity of those who have created this system of injustice that we call government, that we call the matrix. Those that have passively allowed it to happen without standing up are as guilty as those that have committed the crimes. Now, it's not about guilt or blame, and I'm not trying to say that, but I'm just trying to get you to understand that nothing happens in the world without both sides playing a role. That's how polarity works, and it becomes, the polarities are not wrong, but they become polarized and they are antagonistic toward each other Instead of dancing, they duel. I've talked about that so many times. And people still don't get it. We have been so trained and brainwashed and programmed into the either or mentality. And the either or mentality is death. It is not life, it's death. It is not blessing, it's a curse. It's not either or, it's both and. And Peter Van Runt and I, when we've had our conversations, and Peter, I wish you would answer my email that I sent you. I'm asking for your support there. I'm asking for at least your understanding, and you haven't even acknowledged it, and it hurts me, Peter. All of Peter's and my conversations always go back to both and. Because that's the bridge. That's the bridge that we need to be able to see, that we need to be able to get our minds and, more importantly, our hearts around. What SwissIndo is doing, what Mr. Sugih is doing, as I see it, as I understand it, is creating the bridge, or building on the bridge that Heather began with the OPPT. The bridge from the old system to the new system. Taking the old system and taking the things, the remedies that are within the old system, and using it to create a new system. Those that knock Heather for what she did do not get it. You don't understand if you're attacking Heather and the OPPT. You don't get it. I don't care if your name is Zen Gardner or anybody else that's been attacking for a long time the OPPT. You don't get it. And those of you that are now attacking SwissIndo, Pieta Morgan, and others, and Shieena Living Waters, you don't get it. You don't understand that there's a bridge that has to connect with the old, or it will not work. It's not a process that will work. You cannot jump from the old paradigm to the new paradigm without the destruction of the old paradigm. What we're trying to do here is to build a bridge that allows the people that have been complacent and lazy, that have by passivity allowed the old world order to get to where it's gotten to, and those that have created that world order. A bridge that they can cross so that they not can be exonerated for their actions. It's not about exoneration. It's not about immunity for criminal behavior. Criminal behavior is criminal behavior. And it needs to be addressed truthfully, honestly, and with justice. And that justice is not about punishment. Justice is about reconciliation. It's about healing. It's about making a remedy so that everyone can ultimately be redeemed, because every soul is worth redemption. Every soul is worth being exonerated in the respect that, yes, you did wrong, and there was some good that came out of that wrong. But the wrong is still wrong. The evil is still evil. The destruction of life is still the destruction of life. And the destruction of life is wrong when it's the willful overruling of someone else's free will. It's wrong. It's inherently incorrect, evil, sinful, wicked, terrible. And it needs to be resolved. And the way you resolve it is by facing it truthfully, honestly. It's about truth and justice. Did you hear me? We're not going to get to the peace and prosperity part without the truth and justice part. The George Bushes of the world, the Dick Cheneys of the world, the Rothschilds of the world, the Rockefellers of the world, the Morgans, J.P. Morgans of the world, and no, I'm not talking about Pieta Morgan. And actually, Morgan is one of my family tree. just so that you know. So it's not about the name Morgan, which means morning, I guess, in German. But anyway, these people that have done all these dastardly deeds and created the matrix that we've known, and those of us that are educated have grown to really dislike strongly, hate even. Those people are worth redeeming too. And it's not about giving them blanket immunity. It's not about giving them, what's the word that I'm looking for? I forget the word. It's not about just forgiving them. It's about them being righted in their heart and in their mind so that they can own their own shit. So that they can come to grips with what they've done and understand why it's wrong. That's important, that we get why something doesn't work, why it's destructive, why it's not acceptable. We need to be able to see that. And as far as patents, I mean, somebody has suggested that there's certain secret patents. I don't know what they are, but if it's about free energy or some of the healing technologies or some of the other things that the pharmaceutical industry or the oil industry or the powers that have tried to keep secret, no. There's no secrecy as far as I'm concerned in what we're working toward, or what I'm working toward in SwissIndo. There's no secrecy. It is about transparency. It is about telling the truth. It is about bringing all the things that have been hidden into the light so that we can look at them, so that we can see the part that we played in them, so that we can learn from them and develop wisdom from them. It's not about covering anything up. It's not about selling out for money. There's no amount of money in the world that would make me support the Matrix and its dastardly deeds. There's no amount of money that could buy my silence or acquiescence to a system that treats people like slaves and keeps people in ignorance on purpose by lying and a blanket of half-truths and mistruths and disinformation and propaganda. There's no title that you could give me. There's no position of authority that I would ever even want. I don't want authority. I want service. I want to serve the people of the world, to serve the divine in each and every human being. And the divine is in each and every human being. None of those lost sheep are unredeemable in my book, and none of them are unworthy of love. Although many of us need to awaken. We need to come to ourselves in the pig pen and say, oh, wait a minute. Look at me. Look at me. Here I am eating the husks that the swine did eat. I'm wallowing in the mud, in the muck of human creation. I'm wallowing in that distortion. And we need to see that it's been a distortion. We need to see that it's been a learning experience for sure. But has it been a happy learning experience? I'm all for the happiness part of it. We've experienced the misery part of it. We need to come to ourselves and say, wait a minute. This is not creation's plan. This is not the Creator's ideal. We have fallen so far below what the ideal is. And to me, Mr. Sugih, Mr. Sino, whatever name he chooses to use or we choose to refer to him as, whatever name, I sense in him a pure heart. I sense in him integrity. And integrity isn't just wishy-washy, flowery, sugar-coating stuff. It's the ability to be tough sometimes and to speak the truth lovingly but firmly. and saying no more. And I hope that every delegate in SwissIndo and every person who chooses, it's not something that's being imposed from the top down, everyone who chooses to align with the purpose of SwissIndo, which as I see it, is to liberate humanity from our deceptions, from our distortions, from our ignorance. It's to liberate us so that we can fulfill the vision of all of our prophets and all of our avatars and all of our men and women of heart and of great soul and of great inspiration, so that we can fulfill the destiny of humanity, which is to be free, which is to be loving and compassionate and kind, and build a society that does indeed work for everyone's benefit, that does indeed provide to everyone an opportunity to reconcile all of the opposites that are within us, all of the dark and the light, and let them dance together. Let them dance together so that each of us can become whole, so that each of us can discover what it means to have Christ or Buddha or God within us, so that each of us can be fulfilled and ultimately be happy. I'm very sad that anyone would think that I would sell out for any amount of money or for any title or for any reason. The goal for which I have come into this world, the goal of reconciling man to God and God to man. Thank you for listening. Namaste.